Just give me 1 minute.
Yeah, chapter 1, the kingdom of the living organism, the 1.3, section 1.3.
Recording in progress.
Okay. After completing this, then we will check from the official syllabus. Okay, let me open the syllabus first, official syllabus, and then you can have. Okay, let me know.
I'll come back. Yes.
Okay. Is this visible?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So we have done so far in biology. mm this one, the first section that was about the characteristics of the living organisms. Then we started the classification system. In this, you see they have mentioned the organisms can be classified into groups. We have discussed it, right? Then we have discussed the species as well, how the species are can be describe a species as a group of organisms that can reproduce. I told you the definition. What is the definition of species? Like species is a
A
species.
species that can
Mhm.
like is a group of organisms that can reproduce and reproduce to produce fertile offsprings.
Yes, and what is meant by fertile offsprings?
Fertile offsprings are like offsprings that can produce into further generations.
Yes, the further generation. This process goes on. Then we started the binomial nomenclature, the binomial system, okay, in which we discussed that how a species can have two names. The first name is the genus name, and the second name is the species name. And this is the internationally recognized system, right? We discussed it, that internationally agreed system. And according to this, we say that there are two parts, the genus and the species. And why is this system needed? The binomial system.
So it's easier for what's it called for the
Hmm. Scientists
biologist
or biologists,
and then
yeah.
the
You
and
can say researchers.
it's easy
Hmm.
to identify species.
Yes, because in different places, different regions, people are using different names for the same things. So it makes difficult for global community to understand the things about which species they are talking about. So the Carlos Linnaeus,
Mhm.
he introduced the system, the binomial system, and he also classified the organisms. Then there is construct and use
Yeah.
dichotomous keys based on the identifiable features. This is they are talking about the how we can uh, you know how from the previous time till now which are the evidences on which they classify the organisms. So we discussed about the morphology, right? On the morphological basis, on the anatomy, right? On the basis of anatomy, they categorize the organism. So these they are talking about these features, these terminologies that we have discussed. And then there is the part fifth that explain that classification system aim to reflect evolutionary relationship. This we have started about the classification system. We did this how if you okay, let me ask you that if there are five species, okay, five different species, but they resemble with each other, what we conclude from them? Like when you have a horse, horses, mice, dogs, human beings, they all are mammals. So what can we conclude from this? That they have a
Like feature
common
or
ancestor.
common
Yeah,
DNA.
common ancestor.
Oh,
No, DNA is not common. DNA, I told you, DNA is even though if you have twins in one species, both the twins will not have the same DNA. The DNA will be different. There will be slight difference in the DNA. We cannot say the DNA is same, but we will say, or we can say this, that if there are species which resemble with each other, it means they all have a common ancestor. Okay, they all originated from a common ancestor. Clear?
mhm.
This is the evidence they
Yes.
gave, and then they studied the DNA. And why they studied the DNA? Because initially they started uh, taking data from the morphology of the organisms, then from the anatomy of the organism, then the standard evidence which was introduced was DNA. Okay, DNA is the standard evidence. From DNA, you can categorize different species into different groups. And how from DNA we can categorize different species? How I told you that
Like
even though the DNA in DNA there are just four bases, four nucleotide bases: the adenine, nitrogenous bases, adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine.
right,
Right? There are four nitrogenous bases, but we have so many different variations in the DNA. We have different species. Why is this so?
yeah.
Why it happens?
Mm, because
Uh-huh.
because everybody has different DNA.
This is what I'm asking. Why everybody have different DNA, even though there are just four bases? Read this. Read this.
Maybe because of the uncommon ancestors.
No, read this sixth point.
Explain the
Yes, sequence of bases.
sequence of bases
Hmm.
in the DNA used as the means of classification.
You remember we discussed it that the sequence of nitrogenous bases is different. That's why we have different species. I told you in
Mhm.
yesterday's class that, for example, if you have
Like different bases, so like
yes,
this
bases are
scientist
same. The
can like
bases,
they're
yes.
between two or
Hmm. The bases are same,
so
but
they can like find out if they're
yes,
closely related.
bases are same, but their sequence is different. Okay, their sequence is different. Let's say this is species one,
Yeah.
the DNA of the species number one. Okay, this is species number one, and then there is a species number two, in which this is the sequence. I'm just giving you the random arrangement. Okay, so you see, both have what? Both have one, two, three, four. Four bases.
Yeah.
These four bases are present in the repeating in different arrangement. Their arrangement is different. Similarly, their arrangement is different in the species number two, right? So this is what
Yeah.
we say that even though in DNA there are just four nitrogenous bases present, but the sequence of these nitrogenous bases is different in different species. That's why we have so many species. We have millions of species on the earth. Okay, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created
Mhm.
many species, and some of them are underexplored, and some are explored. And how the people explored on the basis of these DNA. Okay, so the initial information,
DNA.
the first evidence was morphology. On the basis of morphology, they discussed, they classified the organisms.
Uh,
Then on yes,
yes.
then second
Anat
anatomy.
anatomy.
Yes, then on the basis of DNA. Okay.
DNA.
Yeah. And DNA, which one is the strongest evidence? This DNA is the strongest evidence for to classify the species. Okay. It is the strongest evidence.
Yeah.
And you know, DNA is the most important thing in a body because DNA is what we say that DNA is a genetic material. Okay. It,
Mhm.
it tells about the genetic pattern. It is the genetic material. It tells about the genes. Okay, it tells about the genes and the sequence of the base pairing and how which characteristic from the father will be in the maybe if we talk about a son, which characteristic of the son will resemble with the father and which characteristic will resemble with the mother. This all is present in the DNA. This all information is encoded in the DNA. Clear? Are you clear with these things?
Yeah.
Okay. Is my voice clear, or is there any distortion?
Yeah, a little bit. Like sometimes it cuts out.
Because I am using the data as there is weather conditions are not good here. Let me change it.
That's fine.
Okay. Yeah. So this is in the section 6. This we have discussed in section 6. Are you clear with this?
Yeah.
The sequence of the
Yes.
bases in the DNA are used as the mean of classification. This I told you if we see the book, yeah, this one over here, this using DNA to help with classification. This we have done already. So mark it as very important. This is very important evidence, and they ask you question in different manners. Okay, it is in section
Yes.
1.2. They using DNA to help with classification, and DNA is the strongest evidence. Okay, till now
Yeah.
it is the and it will be in the future as well because DNA carries all the necessary information the of that particular species.
Mhm.
Clear?
Yes.
So section 1.2 part 6 is also we have done this. Then part 7 explain that groups of organisms which share a more recent ancestor are more closely related. Okay, this we have discussed already. Do you agree with this statement? That group of organisms
Uh,
which share a more recent ancestor are more closely related. Like if their ancestor is same, it means they are closely related. Just like I told you, the
yes.
mammals, if you have
Yes.
the horses, mice, the human beings, if they put them in the one group, why they put them in one group? Because they were all considered as mammal. And why they are all considered as mammal? What are the two basic characteristics of mammals, which they told us?
That they have hair
Yes,
and they produce milk.
milk. They produce milk. So on this basis, they categorize them all in one group, in the mammals group, and then they suggested that they all have a common ancestor because they all are closely related to each other. They are related to each other. Okay, they have base sequence in DNA that are more similar than those that share only a distant ancestor. Are you clear with this? I told you this sequence, like for example, you have this sequence,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I agree.
Then,
Yeah, because I agree with them because
uh
species with like different ancestors have different DNA sequence.
different chain sequence. Yes, like for example, you
So
have these two species. Okay, these are two species. These they are different. Okay, let me write one more over here, two more, and then you can tell me which species resemble with which one. Okay, I'm not writing the exact copy. Just I am asking you which species will be same. Okay, this is S3. This is S4. Now these are total four species. Can you give me just general idea? S1, S2, S3, S4. Like which one resemble with which species from this?
uh,
Which one have like for
in
S1, which one have more resemblance with S1?
S3.
Yeah, S3, right? This is what
Yeah,
we are discussing over here. Then S2 resembles with S4.
S4.
They are not same. They just resemble with each other. So this is what they have mentioned here. That the have base sequence in DNA that are more similar. That are more similar will share a common ancestor. So we will say the S1, the species 1 and the species 3 will share a common ancestor, right?
Yes.
And the S2 and S4 will share a common ancestor.
Yeah.
But when we talk about the S1 and S2, what can we say? They both are different or same?
Uh,
S
S1 and
hmm,
S4.
S4 or S2, any.
They have the different ancestors.
Yeah, so they are not, I'm just putting this that they are not similar, not similar. It is not like they're not
Mhm.
equal. We will say they are not similar. So we will say
Okay.
They don't share common ancestor. Clear? So what we are
Yes.
discussing here, that the species which are closely related to each other will share a common ancestor, and those species which are not related to each other will not share a common ancestor. This is just like the people of one family, they all resemble with each other, right? And if you talk about the people of the
Yeah.
other family, those people within them they will be similar, but if you compare the family one with the family two, they both will be different from each other, right? Are you getting my point?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. But what you are doing? You can take a screenshot of this, or I will share the file
Yeah,
with
I
you.
was already right. I'll take a
Hmm.
screen.
I will share this file with you. Just remind me after the class. Okay, then this we have done. Okay, the section two is clear.
Okay.
It's done. Okay. Then now we started the section number three that was about features of organisms. And in the features of organisms, we will now discuss how the five kingdoms are there, right? What are the five kingdoms? We started yesterday. Uh, like what we discuss in five kingdoms.
Yes.
What are five?
Recording in progress.
Hello.
Wait a minute. I was asking you the five kingdoms. What are the five kingdoms?
Oh, the five kingdoms are Kingdom Protista, Kingdom Fungi, Kingdom Plantae, Kingdom Animalia.
Yeah, good. Now, in this section, in the section 1.3, we will discuss their features. Okay, we will discuss the features. What are some common things in them? What are some similarities? What are some things which are different from each other? On this basis, we will classify the organism, right? So, we are going to start the section 1.3 now. Sure.
Mhm.
Okay. So in this, yeah, this we discussed the example in which we said that there are total five species. In these five species, these three resemble with each other, the dog, jackal, and wolf. So it means they will share a common ancestor, right? And on the right side, if you see, there is pony and zebra. They both resemble with each other. So they both will have a common ancestor, right?
Mhm.
But if you compare a jackal with a pony, we will say they both have different ancestors.
Yes.
Here. And I told you one more thing about the how to write their names. So whenever you have a species name, they ask you, you will write first genus, right? The genus name will be first, and it will start with a capital letter. Then the species name, okay? And you will put a line under it because we are writing it, okay? And if you are typing it, so in typing, you will italics it, okay? You will make it, you will write in italics. Clear? You see, they have written in
Mhm.
italics. These all. This is the standard form of
Yes.
writing the names, the binomial names of the species. Okay. What are these? This is binomial naming system.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, in this section, we are going to start from the animals, the most complex, and this is in this I we will be discussing how the Kingdom Animalia, how they put, on which basis they put the organisms in the Kingdom Animalia. Okay, this is known as animals, and the kingdom is known as Kingdom Animalia.
Really.
Okay, basically, firstly, if you just think about the animals, what are some things present in the animals? They can reproduce
Here.
some common characteristics. Yeah, they have hairs. They can reproduce. I'm talking about their
Yeah.
from morphology, what can you tell me about the animals? They can reproduce, then they can move, right?
Yes.
They can move. I told you in the first class of the characteristics that there is a difference between movement and locomotion and just changing the direction. I told you that the animals they move, they change their place, like from one place to another. But when we talk about the plants, they grow, right? They one part is growing in one direction and the other part is growing in the other direction, but they cannot completely change their position. It's not possible for the
Yeah.
plants, right? But for the animals, they can move. They can shift their position. Okay, then what can animals do? They can reproduce, they can move,
Uh,
they can eat, right?
like eat,
Yes, and
drink,
yeah, that eat and drink, these are same things. Then what animals are heterotrophs or autotrophs?
hetero.
Yes, hetero means
No, autotrophs.
heterotrophs
No,
means
no, hetero.
sorry,
Uh, it's heterotrophs, yeah.
yeah, heterotrophs. Why animals are considered as heterotrophs? What is meant by heterotrophs?
Heterotrophs are like organisms that cannot produce their own food and
Hmm.
like they should get their own food by consuming other organisms.
Yes, they cannot produce their own food
Food.
and they rely on other species, other
Yeah.
living species, just like the plants and the animals for food.
S-
Clear? So the animals are
Yeah.
heterotrophs. These are some things you already know about the animals. Now let's start. The animals are usually easy to recognize. Okay, most animals can move. This is the basic thing. They can move actively. They can hunt for food. Under the microscope, we can see that their cells have no cell wall. This is a new thing, right? They have no cell wall. Well, now, what is meant by cell wall? Actually, whenever you have a cell, what is a cell? Cell is the what is cell? When we talk about cell, what we say?
A
Mm-hmm.
cell is
Mm-hmm.
I think that like it's what's it called? Like shows like some like it's inside like people's body.
You you know like when you have a wall, how a wall is formed from the
Yeah.
bricks, right? So one brick is the
Yeah.
basic unit. It, one brick is the basic unit of that wall. Similarly, a cell is the basic structural and functional unit of every species.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, every living species. This is the basic definition, a very simple definition of the cell. The cell is the basic structural and functional unit of every living species. That what does it mean? It means the cell contains the necessary information to do functions, right? And it has a specific structure. It is a basic structure and function unit. From the cell, when many of the cells combine, they form tissues in the body, and from those tissues, the organs are formed. Different organs like the stomach, heart, brain, all those things. And then when the organs combine, they form the organ system. And from when the all the organ systems collectively work, they result in the individual, and that individual of that particular species. Okay. So firstly, you have a cell. Whenever someone asks you what is a cell, so you must know that cell is the basic unit, the basic structural as well as the functional. You cannot say that it is a basic unit. We will describe it that it is structural as well as functional unit of every living species. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How it is a structural unit? Because it has necessary information for the DNA. It carries all the organelles, right? You know the concept of organelles
Yeah.
present in the cell. Just like you know the ingredients,
Like
ingredients in the food. In any food, there are
yeah.
many ingredients. Similarly, inside cell, there are some smaller things. Those are known as organelles, organelles. Okay, those organelles are responsible for some specific functions. Just like, for example, if we
Mm-hmm.
have, let me open. If you see this, basically this
Yes.
is this is a cell. Okay, this is just one cell. In this cell, in the center, this green color is nucleus. Okay, this green color part is
Mm-hmm.
nucleus. And inside
Nucleus.
nucleus there is nucleolus. Just don't memorize these things. I'm just telling you a general idea of a cell. What is a cell? Okay. Then there are some different organelles as well, like this one. What is this? This is rough endoplasmic reticulum. On this side, the yellow one, if you see this yellow one, this is smooth endoplasmic reticulum, right? There are
Yeah.
centrosomes. There is mitochondria. There are ribosomes. There is lysosome. Okay, these are different organelles within the cell. They perform different functions. Okay, just like in a company there are different sections. There are different units. All those units they do their individual work, and then there is a collective work of that company. Not a single person can do all the tasks of the company. It is not possible. So there are different people for different activities. Okay, based on their specialities. Like for example, if there is a multinational company of any food product, right? And they are doing the marketing of that. So what they need a separate IT department. They need separate marketing team. They need separate HR team, right? Those teams will do their work separately, and there will be a collection of that work which will represent the company. Clear? Similarly, in the
Yes.
cell, in the cell we have different organelles. Okay, because the cell as a whole cannot perform all the activities by itself. In it, there are different species. Like for example, nucleus. I told you in the nucleus there is DNA. Okay, so nucleus carry the genetic information. Nucleus carry genetic information. It will deal with the things which are related to the genes. Then the ribosomes,
Yeah.
these ribosomes, they are responsible for protein formation. Okay, no other organelle will do this work. The ribosome will do this work. Every species, every organelle will perform their own specific function. Okay, that's why we say that cell is a basic structural. You see the structure. The structure is every organelle has a specific structure. So a cell is a structural
Yeah.
as well as functional unit. Okay. Every
Mm-hmm.
organelle in the cell is performing its own specific function. No other organelle can
Yeah.
replace its function with other organelle. Like mitochondria will perform its own
Yes.
function. Mitochondria is basically responsible for ATP production. Okay, it provides the energy to the cell. So this function cannot be performed by DNA, by the nucleus, or by the endoplasmic reticulum, or by any other organelle. This is what I am telling you, that
Yes.
different organelles present in the cell will perform their own specific functions. Are you clear with that? That what is meant by the cell is a structural as well as the functional unit.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, yeah. After this, we have some animals. Now they have mentioned that the cells have no cell wall. Okay, the animal cell, if you see the animal cell is just like this. This is the cell. There is no cell wall outside. There is no cell wall. But when we see the plant cell, in the plant cell there will be a cell wall. Okay, and then we will discuss
Mm-hmm.
the reason why there is a cell wall in the plant cell. Clear? Over here, what was new? The
Yes.
new thing is that this animal cell, they don't have cell wall. Okay, they just have the
Yeah.
cell membrane. They have cell,
Syllabus.
yeah, they have cell membrane. Then some animals have in the past been confused with the plants. For a very long time, sea anemones were classified as plants. Okay. In initial times,
Yeah.
when they were doing the discoveries, so at that time they play different species in different groups. Like those were actually the should be in the animal group, but they placed them in the plant group based on some morphological things. Like the sea anemones cannot, they stay at their position. They tend to stay there. They don't move like the active movement of the animals. So this was the first thing, okay, in the sea anemones, that they tend to stay fixed. just like plants. You know, the plants, they remain fixed at their position. Their position is fixed. And second thing is, and their tentacles look rather like flower petals. Okay, their tentacles. What are tentacles? These are tentacles. These, the projections in them. Their tentacles are
Yes.
like the flower petals. So on these two bases, the researchers, the biologists, they placed the sea anemone in the plants group. Okay, in the initial time, in the previous times. Then afterwards, they started to recognize the different characteristics of the animals, that how, which categories should be in the animals so that we can place that particular species in the animal group. Okay, so they studied that. Afterward,
Mm,
when they studied that, the first thing was about the cell wall. That the plants, the animal cell, they don't have cell wall. This is the first thing, right?
mm,
The animal cell, they don't have cell wall. Second is that they are multicellular. Multicellular means they have many cells. You know why
yeah.
the animals have are multicellular? Have you general idea about this?
Uh, no.
Like okay, we have considering us. I mean, when you talk about the human being, we are in the animal category, right? We are complex. Clear? We are
Mm-hmm.
complex. We do what functions we can perform.
Uh,
Mm. We can
like,
eat, drink.
yeah, we can eat, we can sleep, we can walk,
Yeah, we can walk. We can sleep.
we can reproduce.
Yeah, we can reproduce. Okay. So these are very important functions. These are not basic functions. Just like if you eat and drink,
Mm,
like you are eating something or you are taking something, there will be a process of metabolism in your body, right? The metabolism of the food.
yes.
Then you walk your, by the legs, but there are everything is active. Your brain is active. You just don't randomly walk. If you see any danger, you just stop or you just change your direction. Why is this so? Because your neurons send you message that there is a danger in front of you, so you must take some other direction. Similarly, we sleep and we have a specific sleep cycle. If that sleep cycle is disturbed, our whole day activities are disturbed, right? So these are not simple things. These are complex things. These are some things which are systematically working in our body. So can these be performed
Yeah.
by just one cell? Is this possible that all these functions can perform by just one cell?
Mm,
Yeah, that is why we are multicellular. Okay, that is why the animals are multicellular because this is just one cell. I have drawn one cell. Okay, there are many cells. The animals are multicellular because they are complex one. Okay, they are multicellular
yeah.
because they are complex. They perform many of
Mm,
the activities, and those activities they are working systematically in our body. Okay, there is a systematic working. You cannot just simply say that there is food placed in front of you, and that food will automatically be in your body. This is not the case. You just firstly your eyes perceive that food. If it looks good, then you approach that food. Otherwise, you don't just eat. Did you eat anything from the street? We don't do this. We just eat the things which are
yeah.
pleasant to our eyes, which are pleasant in their smell, which are good, which are according to our taste, right? So all these things, they
Yeah.
are working in a systematic manner, okay? So we cannot say that these all things can be performed just by one cell. That's why Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala has created us with the multicellular things. Like we have many cells in our body and we are complex, and that's why we have capability to do many work, many things. If you compare a human being with a bacteria is a unicellular organism. So bacteria is a very simple organism. The bacteria cannot eat the complex things. Bacteria cannot perceive anything. Bacteria does not know what is coming in front of it or anything like that. Because the bacteria is the simple one. Okay, it is a unicellular organism. Are you clear with this concept that why we are multicellular?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. This is the second characteristic of the animals. The third one is that their cell have one nucleus, one central nucleus in them. Okay, but no cell wall or chloroplast. Chloroplast is not there. What is the function of chloroplast? Actually, chloroplast is present in the plants.
Okay.
Okay, yes, and it is responsible for photosynthesis. So,
Yeah.
if the animals don't have chloroplast, what does it mean?
That's can't
Mm,
make their own
mhm. That
photosynthesis won't happen.
the photosynthesis will not happen. What is the purpose of photosynthesis? To make food, right? To make food. So
With
simply we can say
food, yeah.
the animals cannot prepare their own food because they are not autotrophs. And why they are not autotrophs? Because they don't have chloroplast. Clear?
Yeah.
Are you clear with the second point? That why? What does this evidence tell us about the animals? Is my voice clear? Can you hear me? This is about the characteristics of